check the description box below for tabs and backing tracks on my website, information about exactly what sound tools I'm using today, live streams, and more on Patreon, and my deep dive courses. It's all on my website. Let's look at the intro first. I theorized that the intro was recorded separately and then they spliced it in because the rest of the song is a loop. We'll discuss further, but anyway. So we got a G, kind of with a little slide move, and this little, I actually consider this like a Hendrix thing. A little fill off of that. And then a B minor 7. And then this is kind of neat, a little fill off the B minor 7. And yeah, we're definitely going to be doing fingerstyle today. There's no picks for this song. Slide back to a G. And then a little, again, to me it's a Hendrix thing, but you know, it's just nice. Put that 9th up, slide it forward, and then a big just proper B minor. Now the right hand of both of the brothers is, yeah, it's crazy what they're doing. So we're gonna break it down. Grab a G, so here we are into the main groove. Oh, I guess there is a little. So that's kind of off of that B minor 7. This is where the splice is. And then a D. They studied classical, so these kind of forms aren't strange to them. That's a D triad, passing A, and then that's where his foot hits the looper pedal and he starts his loop. The main groove is G. B minor. The first thing to get is thumb. I do it this way. Again, this is one of the hardest things I've transcribed, trying to pin down this rhythm pattern because there's 2 layers. There's this, and then he snuck in another layer. I was like, there's no way that's one hand. But anyway, 1, 1, 2, and clap. That thing, this getting the nails down with, you're still palm muting. Okay, boom, boom. That's phase 1. So that's not even all there is to it, because I listen closer. There's a boom, boom, ba, boom, 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 ba. So the full pattern is 2 bars. It goes. Honestly, if I was going to cover it, I might simplify it to just be like. Now, when something is tricky, the temptation is to play it at record speed. My advice is always do the opposite. Pull the tempo really far back so you could test. Really make sure all the notes are where you meant to put them. That passing A is so tricky. It's so cool. I mean, and the crazy thing is both the brothers, both Alejandro and Esteban, they're both really good with that right hand stuff. I guess it probably comes from classical and flamenco. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that rhythm passage is a loop, because when you listen, it really is exactly the same throughout the song, and you really can't find much footage of them playing it live. I found one clip, and the clip I found, there was a guitar player and a drummer. They were jamming with somebody else, and that's why I was like, maybe there's something going on here. So there's an extra layer that makes that rhythm part even more cool. Just the inside of those chords, the G, the passing A, and the B minor 7, this little it is. But again, it doesn't have to be a lot because it's a layer that kind of, yeah, it's almost asking like a percussion type thing. And yeah, that just really super cool. All right, now let's check out the lap steel part. Of course, Alejandro is playing that on like a 1940s Rickenbacker. If you can ever find one of those, they do sound really cool. Let's just get my Barncaster out and we'll do it on that. My buddy Matt Sheeman makes these guitars down the road from me in Fuquay Varina, North Carolina. This is an old tobacco barn. He has deals with, I guess, some of the builders and the farmers around the area. It's like, hey, if you got some spare barns that are getting torn down, I'm going to make guitars out of them. Yeah, so this is a literal tobacco sunburst. I am in open A minor tuning with a capo at the second fret, therefore, making it open B minor tuning. But okay, without the capo, it would be A, E, A, C natural, E. It starts to sound like a white wedding. Now, of course, he's using a lap steel on the record, which does allow you to kind of hop between the strings a little bit easier. So there's going to be a lot of finger blocking. But before we do that, let's find where our blues scale is. So you end up with an interesting kind of doubled up thing. That's probably what he's thinking about. And our main lick. So there's definitely finger blocking there. If I didn't block it, you're going to get a lot of noise. So my thumb is going to sit on the low E and A strings and then be sitting on the ready on that D string. My index is sitting on the G and the other two are sitting there. So see that's pretty much, yeah, if you're playing melodic slide, you need to do a lot of finger blocking. But okay, the phrase. And you just let it hang. And kind of the second time around, you can let it fall off. And then it does the first thing again. And then this is like classic melody writing or riff writing. It did A, and then it's going to do riff B, as in like rehearsal letters, like not chords. It's just a way of kind of like, oh, a thing, a different thing. So the different thing. Yeah, a different blues lick. Again, if I didn't block it, it's going to be a mess. Kind of a cool mess, but definitely not what's happening. And then as the song kind of loops around and around and around, he starts to kind of play with which riff he's going to do. So he does main riff. And then he does ender riff. Does main riff again. And then a different ender riff. Kind of, yeah, looking for those tones higher. He found some of those blues tones a little higher. And then as the song, rides off into the sunset, kind of just, again, playing around with, let's see, those blues tones. Again, when you're playing lap steel with high strings and a Stevens bar, it's easier to kind of hop across the strings without getting, sympathetic string scrape. But, you can do it in the standard. I figured, hey, not all of us, have one of those cool Rickenbacker lap steels. They do sound good. I remember I had a student, she had one of those same ones. And yeah, even just through like a little practice amp, those things they sound like that. They sound super cool. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. It costs you nothing, and it helps me out a lot when you do that. One more time around how my business works, how I eat. Patreon is where there's every backing track I've ever made and ever will make, live Q&A, seminars, and more. I update that every week, and I also make comprehensive deep dive courses. You can check it all out on my website. As Bill and Ted would say, be excellent to each other. That includes yourself. Happy Friday. Eat pizza.